Hey, are we awake yet?
No, I
I
don't
I,
even know what I'm doing here.
I don't know. Yeah, I
Ridiculous.
we talk about it for days and say, okay, let's do it. We get together. Well, let's do this show and then all of a sudden you wake up that morning and oh, you got to do the show. Oh man.
Uh,
See,
Absurd how early it is right now.
I'm old. I got excuses to have bags under my eyes. I don't know what's your excuse.
I don't think I slept. I literally feel like I got in, I took a shower. I had to work super late last night. I took a shower and then I went to bed, I think, but then I woke up and here I am sitting in a chair. I mean, I might be in the Matrix right now.
I
I'm
like the
not
part
sure what's
about
happening.
I like the part about I went to bed, I think,
Yeah, I don't know. I
that's-
woke up in my bed, but I don't remember sleeping.
dementia is supposed to be reserved for my age group.
I don't know. All I know is that whoever, because I have to go to work today later. These people think we're, because we got this amazing show, we're high rollers here, but
That's right.
I
Yeah.
gotta go to work later, and I feel bad for anybody who's got to work with me. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm putting it out there. You don't want to work with me today. I promise you.
So if you're watching this show right now and you got to work with Brandon later today, watch out.
Just zip it. Don't ask me a question. Don't talk to me. Just ignore me.
Just punch the clock and get out of my way.
Please do. It's going to be bad. What am I doing here? What are we talking about today, Stuart?
Hey, I don't know. We started talking about our friends because over with the holidays and everything, we talked about getting together with friends and everything. And I was thinking, who are friends? What are friends?
I don't know. You tell me.
What are true friends? And kind of go through the Rolodex of your life and say, how many people can I call friends? And then out of that number, the short list, how many of them do you call true friends? So what is a true friend?
Somebody who gets you up in the morning to do a podcast.
I would say that's probably a true friend because you wouldn't do it for yourself. So it's somebody else that's going to kick your butt and say, hey, turn the microphone on and grab the coffee,
and let's talk
like we got there. Yeah. And I'll
have
a sip.
Yeah. Friendship's interesting. I think, you don't think about it when you're younger,
Well, but the word friendship by itself, I mean, it just seems to be so generic. Oh yeah, this friend of mine, okay, define that as a friend of mine. Is that just an acquaintance? Is it somebody that you work with? It's somebody that you've known since you were in kindergarten and you still, that's a good question to throw out there. Is there anybody that you stay in touch with today that you went to grade school with?
Well, okay. So social media has made it easier to stay in touch.
Well, that's true. You refound your friends.
Yeah. There's a couple guys that I talk to. Let me put you this way. There's a couple guys, there's a lot of people I talk to on social media, and some of them, we make sure we keep a reg, intake on what's going on in each other's lives. But if I went back home to Michigan right now, and I started sending out the bat signal that I was back, I know that a ton of people that are still there from when I was in elementary school or whatever would say, hey, let's go to a bar. I have those type of people, but those aren't the people that are like checking in, calling, seeing what I'm doing when I'm not in Michigan. So, the only one that sticks out in my head, and if I forget anybody, I'm sorry, my bad, is my buddy Ken. And I met him when I was in 8th grade. And we have been maintained our relationship since then. We've lived together for a little bit. He's, moved, he was in Texas. I stayed with him. I mean, obviously, because he was in Texas, and now he's back in Michigan. And we still, that's my if I call him up and I'm like, bro, I need you to fly to Texas. I'll pay for it, or you pay for it, whatever. I just need you. He'd be like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah, well, and I was thinking about that when prepping for the show too, and I gotta say that I probably go back to junior high There was
Yeah.
a fellow moved into my neighborhood and we became fast friends. He was a year younger than I was, but we went all through junior high. And unfortunately, when we got to high school, I was the last year that went to the high school I went to. They built a new high school. My
Oh, okay.
buddy Jim went to the new high school, which was actually closer to our houses. The one I went to was 5, 6, 7 miles away. But we were inseparable. I mean, we did all kinds of crazy stuff together. We used to cut grass in the neighborhood to make money together, and we even printed a little neighborhood newspaper together.
That's cool.
He went on to a career in the Air Force, and then beyond, was with the airlines, and we reconnected after kind of a separation. It was always one of those, every Christmas time, you'd send a card or something, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. But we reconnected, and now we kind of stay with each other on email. And he also wrote a couple of books. But when I start to think back, that it was social media, it was Facebook that gave us the opportunity to reconnect with people. And most recently, that old high school that I went to, they just tore down after 115 years.
I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we used to we had high school reunions via Zoom. And we'd get 30, 40 people from our high school days, and all of a sudden you'd reconnect with people. But those were friends and all. But when you started to weed through all the friends to say, man, he or she and I were like joined at the hip. We were inseparable. We didn't go anywhere without each other.
Yeah, and it's funny because there are different layers to friends.
Yeah.
And at least I think for the majority of people, like, and I don't consider acquaintances like friends. I'm not saying that they're not like we're friendly or maybe we haven't hung out, but they're not like, I'm very much like, I want my people in my circle and you are it. You know what I mean? Like I got my 4 or 5 people, and those are friends. Like, and then there's other people, like those people you're like, hey, we're gonna go have beers. We get along, we party, we not party, but you know what I mean? Watch football, go to soccer, hang out. It's a good time. We might get a little deep, but yeah. And then there's those people that I consider like yes men. And I used to, especially working in the bars, I used to have a group of yes men. They were just there. I don't know if they even cared. They were just like there.
Like Cheers.
Yeah. And those guys are good to have. Sometimes you need those guys. But for me, and I think as you get older, I know as you get older, the level of the friendships, I don't want to say they disappear, but it's smaller and smaller and smaller. And I was just talking about this too. I have a problem because I'm one of those guys that, even though I don't seem like it, I get a little like, I don't say I get my feelings hurt, but I get my feelings hurt. Like, I'll check in on you, like I'll text you and see how you're doing. I'm busy. I'm super busy. But if you're my friend and I haven't heard from you all, I'm going to be like, hey man, what's up? You all right? You cool?
Right.
If somebody tells me, yeah, I'm just busy. All right, cool. Like, I already know. But if I don't hear from you, and then I don't hear from you again, and I don't hear from you again, and you blow me off, I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
And there's no excuse like nowadays to not stay connected with people,
Well, we've become such a mobile society too, that when you stop and think, first of all, you and I both don't live where we grew up, but we do have friends that are still back in the old hood.
Absolutely.
And that's why, like you said earlier, when you go back to Detroit and you say, hey, I'm going to be in town for a few days. Oh yeah, let's all get together.
Yeah.
And some of those people never transplanted themselves, but so many more of us have just gone off to different states, different parts of the country. And so you lose track of those friends, or the only track you have with them now is via Zoom or email or texting.
You're right. You're
I
right.
mean, my wife probably stays in touch with more of her friends via text, or sometimes the phone calls than anything else, which is, of course, just the state of affairs today. But the old days of sitting down, my idea, and one of the ways that I would probably say who is a friend. A friend would be somebody that if you really had a question to answer, whether you were going through a difficult time or you needed help with something, you would call that friend. Recently my daughter said, I've got a friend who's been having some difficulty with foot surgery and she needs a second opinion. What did I do? I reached out to a former friend who's a doctor back in the Chicago area and I said, hey, can you help my daughter out? And yeah, we talked about our kids for a while and everything. And then he gave me a list of a couple of names and numbers. That to me is going back to a friend and saying, I need a little bit of help.
Yeah, I think there's those, like you said, and I think as life happens, people get moved around, genuinely speaking,
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got that group that doesn't leave, but genuinely speaking, I've got a couple other friends that we get together all the time. Well, not all the time. It's typically we try once a month. I'm more difficult to get together with, I admit that, but it's once a month.
Really?
I know, shocker.
You are? Oh, really?
I know, I suck. And I get it. I get why people sometimes are like, dude, I'm not even calling Brandon. Like,
right. Yeah. That's why whenever you say, let's get together, I always put it on my calendar in pencil. I'm not going to use a pen because I know that's going to change.
I suck. I know. Look, it's not my fault. As soon as I can hit the lottery and I don't got to work anymore, it'll be all right.
Right. Well, go ahead and hit the lottery and then find out who your friends are.
Because ain't nobody going to talk. Yeah, I ain't giving anybody.
They come out of the woodwork first.
I'm sure. I might have 7 more kids by then, Hey, Dad.
Right.
But these guys that get together, and that group has shrunk for good reasons. It's typically, just 2 or 3 of them, and we get together once a month, drink beers. And it's an all day process, and it's just talking. I mean, I went to David's wedding. He put me in not put me in the wedding. I was the officiant. That was like, that's a level of friendship. Like, you're going to ask me to marry you guys. That to me, that was awesome.
Right.
But I don't do what I used to do. I don't get together with 10, 12, 15, 20 people anymore. And I don't even want to. I don't even like that many people.
Well, you started a little group called the Man Cave. And by just getting a few close people together and every once in a while just sit down and have a cup of coffee and just talk about what's ever on your mind. I think that's a cool thing to do for friends. I
do too. Yeah, I wanted to do that. It was a big deal. It was right in the pandemic, and nobody was going anywhere. Yeah. And everybody was going through stuff, and there were some of these people know each other, some don't, but now there's people that have posted stuff on there, and then I see people that have no idea who each other are, but they're talking, they're supporting, I just want it. It doesn't always work out. Sometimes it's just me talking, but I think it's a good group. It brought some people together. I know it helps certain people out, and that's important,
Yeah. Well, and there's lots of websites and everything now. You and I most recently joined Soundwave, and I have to say that I've already picked up a couple of new friends, people that you kind of interact with. You ask questions and they answer. They don't blow it off. They're willing to answer and share ideas and all, and that I think becomes the start of a friendship. I think also somebody that you can call a good friend is somebody that thinks the way you do. They look in your eyes. They know when you're hurting. They know when you're happy. Unless you're a really good actor.
I'm a pretty good actor.
Yeah, you can blow them up. I'll tell you one that I think you'll maybe you can relate to this one. Somebody says a friend is somebody that will bail you out of jail.
Oh yeah, yeah, I can relate to that one.
Yeah, but a true friend is sitting right next to you in the cell.
I can relate to that one too. Hey, Ken is a guy who bailed me out of jail before, literally. Okay. I think the only reason he wasn't sitting next to me is because he wasn't there.
Yeah. And he probably was pissed off because he wasn't.
But that was a guy like, this was years ago, people, years ago. Okay. I'm much more mature now. He literally, the first phone call I got, I didn't call my parents. I called Ken. Ken, I need $400. Can you get me out of jail, please? Yeah, man, I'll be there.
Right. Well, you got busted in Canada for jaywalking once, didn't you?
Yeah, I got to bail myself out for that. They were really nice over there in Canada. But you know what? Friendships, it's a certain level. You talked about Soundwave. You know, hey, these guys at Soundwave got to start taking care of us, man. It's like the third time we talked about these guys. When I was on Soundwave, or I'm still on Soundwave, but I met a group. It's crazy. I met these three girls on there, Lilia, Shannon, and Ashley. Shout out. And I don't know how it happened. It was definitely organic. We just started like not only replying and talking to each other on Soundwave, it then turned into, we have our own group text. And I'm going to tell you right now, that text is constant. It's the only text I'm not annoyed with. It's constant, where we're all talking at some point, or let's say I'm busy, I'm done, I've gone off the grid with Luke for a couple days. Then they're having conversations and I'll come back in and be like, hey, what I miss? Anything important? Give me the rundown. If somebody's hurting, like, it's been a really true friendship. We get together now once a month via Zoom or via, whatever you want to call it.
Cool.
And we call it our meetings. And we'll just sit there and talk and maybe drink or have some coffee in a couple hours. And because we're all spread across, three of us are in Texas, but different parts. And then one of them's in Georgia. So we're all, but they have become, it genuinely blows my mind how that friendship was developed. And I feel like I know them more than I've known some other people.
Yeah. Well, and maybe one of the reasons is because there's some originality and authenticity to them, that, and it's also a discovery process too.
That's true too. We're in the honeymoon phase of our relationship.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
you know what though? Next time I meet three girls, could I meet three single ones? Like,
well,
I'm meeting three.
Or ask those three girls if they got a single friend.
I already did, and I'm already like striking out. I'm like, no. But I'm meeting three women, and this is gonna sound really weird, but I'm not that guy. People that know me, three women that are married. I've talked to two of their husbands already. So, but I'm like, seriously, am I the fourth girl?
Yeah. Yeah.
Give me some single women. Where's the rest of your hoe friends?
Well, anyhow, we developed a friendship many years ago, and it continues, and it will continue, hopefully.
Yes, sir.
And so, we'll hopefully take it to the next level.
What does that mean?
I have no idea. I don't know
good.
why I said that, but anyhow,
you're gonna be in jail with me?
I'll be sitting right there next to you. And okay, can we have just one more phone call? We can't find anybody to bail us out. Just one more phone call.
Too expensive. Can you drop the rate?
Yes. Yeah. Do you have a 2-for-1 special? How about a senior discount? I'll go for the senior discount.
Let him out. He can't take it.
Yeah. I'm also a military veteran. Have a heart. Where's the keys? Please.
Right.
Anyhow, well, we'll get together next week and do the same thing. And I don't know what we're going to talk about, although we're coming up on Valentine's Day pretty soon. So maybe we'll talk something about Valentine's Day.
Maybe wait.
We'll invite somebody to join us. Hey, just be here next week and find out what's going on. All right. Take care.
See you guys.
All right. That's it. Whew. Man, I'm glad
Ugh.
that one's over. Hey,
I'm
listen,
sweating.
don't call me. Okay. Just,
Don't call you when I go to jail.
yeah, hell with it. Go away.
Thanks. I'm gonna sit and rot. Freaking great.
Ooh, I forgot to turn off the recording.